France 1944, 140 hours. Carl Weiss, 32, prisoner forced into maintenance detail. Kneels with scraped hands and stiff fingers while pressing a loose brick back into place as guards move nearby. He keeps his head down and counts breaths. He mutters to himself to keep steady while shifting weight. The brick rocks again. He freezes, decides to test pressure once more. It slides. He stops and waits. Nothing happens. He resumes. The brick shifts under his thumb and dust coats his skin as he pulls back slightly. He tells the man beside him to keep scraping without looking while he shields the movement with his shoulder. The other man keeps working and asks what he is doing. He says to trust him and keep noise steady. The brick comes free. He hides it against his thigh. Footsteps pass. He replaces it loosely and exhales. A guard barks for faster work while swinging a baton toward the floor, and he nods without lifting his head. His wrist cramps as he presses the brick back and crooked. The edge leaves a narrow gap. He notices cold air touch his knuckles and stops. He whispers to the man to drop a tool. Now the tool falls. The guard looks away. He pulls the brick again and feels space behind it. He tests the opening with 2 fingers and finds depth. His pulse jumps and he slows his breathing. He tells the man to keep rhythm and asks for the smaller scraper during the motion. The scraper changes hands. He scrapes inside the gap and flakes fall. He cups them and lets them spill with the rest. The space widens. He decides to stop before notice. He resets the brick imperfectly. A whistle cuts through the work and everyone straightens. He presses the brick flush with a firm push and rubs dust to hide marks. A guard points and orders him to move left. He obeys and drags his knee. The man asks if it worked. He says later while bending again. His fingers ache. He plans the next chance. The line shifts and blocks the spot. The line halts and a prisoner coughs hard. He uses the pause to glance back and measure distance. He tells the man to cough again when told. The cough repeats. A guard snaps for silence. He slides back and kneels. His hand slips into the gap and confirms space. He withdraws and steadies. He decides to wait for darkness change. He keeps working slow. A crate thumps nearby and draws attention. He presses the brick with a toe and feels give. He whispers to keep count and watch hands. The man nods without looking. He scrapes again and loosens mortar silently. Crumbs fall. He catches them. The opening grows to a fist. He stops and reseats the brick. He chooses patience over speed. A baton taps the floor and the guard orders a check. He wipes his hands and stands. He answers yes when asked if finished and keeps eyes down. The guard moves on. He kneels again. His shoulder blocks view. He pulls the brick clean and sets it under his knee. He probes deeper and feels empty space extend. He pauses and listens for steps. A shout sends everyone shifting. He slides the brick back halfway and adjusts posture. He tells the man to brace and not speak. The man breathes through his nose and keeps scraping. He presses the brick in a way that leaves a hidden notch. He commits the position to memory. He nods once. He prepares for the next window. The line breaks and tools are collected. He stands and flexes fingers. He tells the man to remember the notch and at count of scrapes. The man answers yes. While passing a tool, he steps away with the group and keeps his pace even. The brick holds his plan. He has a path started. He carries the plan forward. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. It helps a lot. He shifts tools onto a cart while keeping his shoulders square and his eyes low. He times each movement with others to avoid attention. He whispers to pass the smaller scraper when the cart stops. The man nods and rolls the cart forward. A guard waves them through. He adjusts grip and prepares. A strap snaps on the cart and metal clatters. He bends to fix it and blocks sight with his back. He tells the man to watch boots and cough once if they stop. The man agrees and keeps hands busy. He slides the scraper into his sleeve and tightens the strap. The cart moves again. He breathes slow and counts steps. He decides this is the window. A tool slips from another cart and skids. He uses the noise to drop to a knee. He pulls the brick free in one motion and sets it aside against his shin. He reaches into the gap and scrapes steadily. The man coughs once as agreed. Boots pause, then move on. He clears more mortar. The opening widens. He chooses to go deeper. A hand cramps, and he switches fingers without looking. He tells the man to keep scraping the floor line to mask sound. The scraping continues. He feels the void extend and angles the tool to test edges. Dust coats his wrist. He cups debris and releases it with other rubble. He stops when a voice nears. He reseats the brick halfway. A command orders faster pace, and he answers yes while rising. He presses the brick with his foot to check hold it stays. He drags the cart a step and returns. He tells the man to pass water. Now the bottle changes hands and hides movement. He scrapes once more and feels a straight drop. He pulls back and seals the brick. A guard leans in to inspect hands, and he opens palms to show dust and cuts the guard. Grunts and steps away. He kneels again and checks the notch by touch. It aligns. He tests pressure and confirms the brick can slide silently. He decides the route is viable. He marks the count in his head and waits. A shout sends the line forward, and carts roll. He keeps pace and keeps the scraper hidden. He tells the man to remember the cough timing and the strap trick. The man repeats it softly while walking. He nods without turning. The spot recedes behind them. He plans the return after shift. He steadies his breathing. A crate strikes his hip as carts converge. He absorbs it and keeps moving. He tells the man to slow 3 steps ahead. The man slows. A gap opens. He slips back and kneels. He pulls the brick and scrapes deeper than before. His arm reaches further. He feels packed earth beyond. He stops and reseats. A whistle ends the task and tools are gathered. He hands over the scraper and keeps dust on his hands. He tells the man to meet by count after lights change. The man answers with a nod. Guards follow them out. He keeps posture neutral. The brick remains loose. He carries the next step forward. A lock clicks and the group halts. He stands still and listens to orders. He keeps the plan simple and repeatable. He avoids looking back. He accepts the delay. He commits to returning with few emotions. The opening is ready. The tunnel can begin. He waits for night cycle to turn. A spoon bends under pressure, and he swaps it for the scraper while kneeling low. He keeps elbows tight and wrists slow. He tells the man to scrape the floor seam harder to mask sound. The scraping rises. He pulls the brick and sets it flat. He works the packed earth in short strokes. Debris fills his palm. He releases it with rubble. He commits to depth. A cough erupts 2 places down, and he pauses with tool buried. He stills his breath and listens to boots pass. He tells the man to hold now. The man freezes and keeps eyes down. Boots move on. He resumes and widens the cut. His forearm fits. He tests the roof with knuckles. It holds. He decides to extend straight. A guard calls for count, and he answers without lifting his head. He presses the brick back to check fit. It slides and stops clean. He pulls it again and works faster for 3 strokes. His wrist burns. He switches hands and keeps pace. He feels a draft on skin and confirms connection. He stops and reseats. A stretcher strikes his hip as bodies shift, and he absorbs it. He tells the man to block view. With a shoulder, the man steps in and keeps scraping. He reaches deeper and clears a ledge dirt spills. He catches most and drops it with others. He tests crawl width with a forearm. It passes. He decides to shape edges. A shout orders tools down, and he seals the brick flush. He wipes hands on trousers and stands. He moves 2 steps with the group and then kneels again when noise rises. He pulls the brick and trims the lip. The man coughs once on cue. Boots hesitate, then move. He smooths the opening and stops. A metal clang echoes, and he freezes mid-reach. He tells the man to keep noise steady. The noise continues. He waits 3 breaths and resumes. He clears another handful and pushes spoil back to pack. The tunnel lengthens by inches. He checks roof again. It holds. He chooses to keep line straight. A baton taps near, and he slides the brick halfway and shifts posture. He answers yes to a question while rubbing hands. The guard moves on. He pulls the brick and reaches farther than before. His shoulder fits. He withdraws slowly. He seals the brick. He counts strokes and resets plan. A cartwheel locks and squeals, and he uses it to scrape longer. He deepens the floor and raises the roof. Dirt coats his sleeve. He shakes it off with others. The man keeps rhythm. He fills the space except a body turn. He stops at the limit and reseats. He saves strength. A whistle cuts the work, and he seals the brick tight. He checks the notch by touch. It aligns. He stands and flexes fingers. He tells the man to remember the count and the order. The man repeats it quietly. Guards move them on. He keeps eyes down. The tunnel waits. A door slams and lights shift. He stays still and listens to movement change. He plans the first crawl and the return he keeps. Motion's minimal and repeatable. He avoids haste. The opening is stable. The route is set. He prepares for the final push and holds. A breath catches, and he steadies it while sliding the brick free. He lowers his shoulders and feeds one arm, then the other. He tells the man to count taps and hold the line. The man answers with a nod and keeps scraping. He pulls forward in short, pulls dirt, presses his ribs. He clears with fingers. He commits to the crawl. A wrist snags on a root of packed earth, and he pauses. He shifts angle and scrapes it back. He tells the man to slow taps now. Dub. Tap slow. He advances a foot and braces the roof, brushes his back. He tests with knuckles and keeps moving. He clears a pocket and breathes shallow. He continues. A sound draws near, and he freezes mid-pull. He presses cheek to dirt and waits. He signals one tap to stop. The tapping stops. He counts breaths until steps fade. He resumes with shorter pulls. Dirt fills his mouth, and he spits in the palm. He wipes and goes on. He keeps the line straight. A tool drops and noise swells, and he uses it to push faster. He widens the floor with heel and clears spoil behind. He tells the man to keep noise steady and pass nothing. The man complies. He reaches a bend and flattens it. His shoulder fits. He pulls through. He pauses to listen. He proceeds. A cramp locks his calf, and he exhales slow. He stretches by pushing back and forward. He tells the man to wait 2 counts. The man waits. He pushes again and clears another span. His chest fully. He tests turn space and confirms. He packs loose dirt to shore. He advances. A voice calls for check, and he stops. He presses flat and holds breath. He signals stop again. The man halts all sound. Time stretches and then releases. He resumes with measured pulls. He clears the last tight edge and feels open space ahead. He slows to avoid collapse. He moves on. A slip drops dirt onto his neck, and he flinches. He braces and scrapes the lip smooth. He tells the man to resume noise. Now the noise resumes. He advances and fills the tunnel except full crawl. He smooths the floor with forearms. He commits to exit distance. He continues. A shout shifts attention away, and he uses it to close the gap. He clears the final handful and sets a flat shelf. He turns and checks stability. It holds. He pulls back 1 length to reset marks. He presses dirt to hide fresh cuts. He slides back toward the brick. He seals behind him. A hand finds the brick notch, and he replaces it flush. He wipes dust to blend marks. He tells the man the count is complete, and the route is ready. The man answers yes and resumes normal work. He keeps posture neutral and steps away with the line. The opening remains hidden. The path exists. A lock turns and movement resumes, and he blends in. He keeps the plan simple and repeatable. He avoids looking back. He accepts the risk and the timing. The trick worked and the tunnel opened. The route stands. The next move will follow. What did you think? Intriguing, right? Watch the video on your screen. I selected it especially for you. See you there.